Hey guys, and welcome to Ancient Cities, a major, huge disappointment. I have been avidly awaiting this game since 2017, when I became a backer to their Kickstarter. And on the Kickstarter, they said that the game would go into beta testing in the summer of 2018 and would be released, like a full release, in December 2018. It is now December 2020. I had huge expectations. They have not been met. Let's go into the game and I will tell you more about it. But the TLDR is, if you're thinking about buying the game, well, personally, think again. They're asking £35 for this game, like €40. I think it's $40 in the US. To give you an idea of how little content there is in the game, there are less than 20 structures that you can build. 4 of those are walls, types of wall, and 4 of them are just decorative only. They have no function. Like there's an oven, but it doesn't do anything. It's just decorative. So yeah, you're gonna be disappointed, and it's a shame because the game looks good, as we will see, and it has got some sort of underlying fundamentally good gameplay. The problem is it's spoiled by a terrible UI. Let's go in and play. I am going to try and save as much of my criticism as possible for the live stream. I'm going to do a live stream at 8 p.m. tonight. I thought I would do a video, just I've been trying to do this video for quite some time, but the game keeps crashing. I've even had to change my recording software. The recording software that I have used on every game that I've played for like the last 7 years, if I have that software running with Ancient Cities crashes. In fact, all of the text disappears, and then if you click on anything, it crashes. I have so much on the stream. I'm going to rip this game a new one. If you like a good rant, come along for the stream. It's going to be good. Okay, let me show you something good about the game, right? So the way they've done the difficulty is you increase the difficulty by starting earlier. So rather than like low, medium, difficult, and have some artificial AI restrictions controlling the difficulty, the way they do it is we start in 6750 BC, 1.7 degrees C average temperature. If you move it earlier, the average temperature it does fluctuate up and down, but it will tend to go down until, if you start right back at 10,000 BC, it's minus 10 degrees. And also, if you look at the map, right? Look at the map. The map actually changes. The snow line comes down to cover right way into Spain and southern Italy. That kind of thing is really good. Unfortunately, it's kind of spoiled by so much stuff that we'll talk about. But there is good stuff in there. The game does look good, as I'll show you in a second. Right, you can also change your starting season. It's a good idea to start in the spring because you need to prepare for the winter. The winter's a little bit rougher. It's not banished winter bad, but it's it's a little bit. So that's the kind of the big picture. Then you go into this next level. Now, where did I want to start? To be honest, I wanted to start in a little like fork in the river or something. Would have been nice. So what we can do, you can migrate. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to migrate. Let's see. This is the area that I chose. Now I could start like down by the coast or something, or next to a lake or something, but I kind of fancy a fork in the river. So I'm going to migrate. Click on this icon up here, and we're going to start up right in the fork of that river. Should be a nice place to start. Now there is a tutorial. It's dreadful. It's confusing. The game mechanics are overly confusing. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. Yeah. Also, the game has been translated. The developers are Spanish anyway, so there's a Spanish version. It's been translated into like French and German or whatever. I'm waiting for the English translation, because even if you just go through this, there are so many like grammatical things that are wrong in here. It's like, for God's sake, get a native English speaker to translate this for you, because seriously, it's dreadful. Yeah. All this rubbish. Well, I'll turn the tutorial off because I know how to play. Right, so we can crank this up. There are 3 speeds, and then there's actually like a time-lapse version. A time-lapse speed. So we'll let him walk up there, and then he'll settle down. Now, when you migrate like this, they will still use resources, by the way. We start off with some dried fish and some raw hides. And enjoy those raw hides, because they're the only hides that you'll get in the game. Because there are no animals. Yeah. A game about ancient Neolithic peoples. You can't even hunt animals, because there aren't any. Yeah, there is very, very little content. Again, the TLDR is, this should not have been released. Not like this. And if you go and look on Steam, what the hell were the developers thinking? Because when I looked, it was at, what, 40% positive reviews, so 60% negative reviews. I think they're going to upset a hell of a lot of people, and whether they'll actually get that goodwill back again, certainly going to take them a long time. Okay, so here we are. We're right next to the river. Where is the fork? I'm thinking it's probably down here. Now, I am zoomed out, by the way, as far as you can zoom out. This is as far as you can zoom out, and that's as far as you can zoom in. Now, you may think that this is pretty close, but actually, I would like to be able to zoom in like a little bit closer. You'll see once we actually get them doing something. So where is the fork in the river? It might actually be this way, mightn't it? This is the problem, though. There is no mini-map. There is no overview map. So, yeah. And there are some very, very weird things in the game. For example, there is a help page. Let me bring up the help page. Oh, that's right, because it doesn't toggle. You have to hold down the H key to see it. Like, really? Okay. That's just one minor thing. I'm saving all the juicy stuff for later. Now, this is a known bug in the game. This is actually on the front page when you log in. There's a whole list of stuff. The rivers don't always cut into the terrain properly. So, for example, here, this should join up to here, and it doesn't. And often, like especially on like coastal maps or lakes, seems to be very, very dodgy about how the water works. Is what it is. Okay, so I want to be ideally up here towards the water would be good. So I'm thinking now, these big rocks, these big boulders, you can't remove those. So you need to, like, when you're picking an area, a starting area for your base, you need to pick an area that's kind of as free as possible from these boulders, but they do kind of tend to be everywhere. So maybe, this area here isn't too bad, and we're not too far away from the river. So yeah, maybe we'll do it here. Okay, so this is where we're going to start our base. Right, the first thing you want to do is you want to get a fireplace built. They don't like sleeping outdoors, but at least if they've got a fire, the impact isn't quite so bad. So, now you'll start to see how terrible the UI is. So, okay, so first of all, the UI displays nothing useful, right? You have to go into here to see any useful information, like what stuff you've got in your inventory. It doesn't tell you, for example, how many villagers you've got. How many kids, how many adults? No, doesn't tell you that. You've got to count them yourself. How many men, women? How many people of childbearing age? No, none of that information. You'll just have to figure that out for yourself. So, okay. Structures. You've got to, if you want to build a structure, you've got to go in here, then click on building, the building tab, then click on add a structure, which then brings up the actual building tabs, which they could have just put down here, like on every other game. Crazy. And then go to, apparently a fire is a service. a lot of the English stuff in here, the actual English words used that are really nonsensical. Let's put the fire in there. That'll do. Okay. And then I'm going to assign, before I bring them over, I'll speed it up and bring them over. I'll actually pause this for now. Now, you may wonder, oh, why didn't you just press the space bar, Sky? And it's because if I hit the space bar, it'll go on to either normal or fast. But that's only sometimes. It's like, why is it the space bar just pause? Right? If I pause it and then go back to single speed and then back to pause and then hit the pause, then it will go between those two. I mean, it's weird. If I bring up the help, you'll see it's actually P for pause. Crazy. Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Should we get on with it? Let's get on with it. Yeah. You can see that the stream tonight. I'm holding back right now. I'm gonna rip into this tonight. I'm gonna spend several hours ripping this game, an absolute new one. Okay, so we've got the fireplace going. Before I bring them over here, I'm going to set them some gathering tasks. Now, the gathering, in fact, the whole task assignment thing is kind of good and bad. I think it's bad because it's overly complex. I think a lot of people won't really like it. I think a lot of people won't really understand it. It's very difficult to get into, especially without a tutorial. And the tutorial does not cover this well. But you can either assign tasks like at the tribe level. So I can go up here and I can assign gathering tasks or cropping tasks. So for example, I could say crop some grass over here, right? And you'll see we get these little sickle icons, right? And we get a task down here, and the whole tribe can do those tasks. I actually don't want them to do that because what I want to do is create work groups. And have people more assigned in a more targeted way. So we'll create a work group. I'm going to create a fishing group. Do you really want to see how bad the UI is? Right? This is just one tiny little thing. I mean, it's horrendous just in terms of navigating around. But okay, so I want to put like 4 people into fishing, right? So let's okay. So it gives you dots. Okay, so. Have I got 4 now? Oh no, I've got 3. Because the tooltip covers the bloomin' dots. So you don't know how many you've... Like, really? Oh man. See, you've got to guess. Right, that's 4. Okay, so we'll have 4 people doing fishing. And then I want to set up another work group. But of course, if you go back, it doesn't take you back to the work groups. It always takes you back to this tab. Which is kind of frustrating. Right, let's go gathering group. I actually want 2 of those. I'm going to set the first one up first. This is going to be food gathering. So this is going to be gathering food. Now the reason I'm setting up 2 of these is because if you mix up food and, for example, gathering stone and sticks, they tend, I don't know, for me, they tend to focus on bringing in stone and sticks and they bring in very little food. So I think it's a good idea to have a group of people who are dedicated just to bringing in the food. And then I want to put, let's see, I want to put about 4 people into that. Come on. Okay, so we've got 4 people doing that. And then I'm going to set up another one, which is going to be another gathering group, all the calm gatherers. No, this is going to be gathering resources. There we go. Right, and we'll set this up with probably just like a couple of people, and this is going to be stone and sticks. All right, cool. Now that I've got those 2 up, I can use these to go backwards and forwards between them, right? But if this one remembers where you've been and takes you back, except that it doesn't take you back to this tab. It always takes you to that tab. So it's like, it does everything except the one useful thing that it could do. Great. Okay, one more work group to set up. We're going to set up a crafting group. These people are going to be responsible for, like, making stuff. So we're going to set them up. I'm going to have, I think, 2 people in that group. And we're going to set them up with some tasks. Initially, what I want them to make is a rope and some fine sticks. And you can either set them up for infinite, and then you can just turn them on and off when you want them. or you can actually set them up to make a specific amount of things. Right, we'll do that. They can't do this at the moment because they need the raw materials. They need sticks to turn into fine sticks, and they need plant fibres to turn into rope. So, we are going to need some storage stuff going on. But for now, I want to get them over here, get them to start gathering. Even if you haven't assigned specific storage areas, they will just dump stuff on the ground. So, they're wandering around, doing a bit of gathering and stuff, and hopefully they will pretty soon get this fireplace constructed. Where is everybody? We've had one person show up. He's like, Nobby no mates. The rest will get here, I suppose, at some point. They'll be like, maybe we'll show up. Or maybe they won't. Okay. While we're waiting for them, I'm going to get some storage set up. So, the way we're going to do storage... and again, I think this is potentially a little bit overly complicated, but hey, it is what it is. We will go into structures, we will go into storage, and then now I do want a basket to store my dried fish in. But now let's see, where's the lake? Okay, the lake is over there, so we would want it over this side of camp. I'm not going to put in a basket just yet. We can do that later. For now, I just want to be able to dry my fish. So this is actually the only production building. So we're going to pop this in. Right there will do. Boom, in it goes. Okay. So we'll get fish drying, and then we'll probably end up putting a couple of those in, and we'll have a basket to store the dried fish in. And then here we're going to put in some pits. And this is where they can store vegetable type stuff. So I'm going to put in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these pits. Now the reason I'm putting 5 pits in is because there are 5 different foodstuffs that you can store in there. And that's excluding the fish. So there are 6 types of food in the game. And that's it. That's all you get. 40 bucks. 40 bucks. No animals. 6 types of food, less than 20 buildings, and that's the whole thing. Oh dear, I wonder what some of you are thinking. I think probably some of you are thinking, well, I won't be getting that. Come along to the stream. Come along to the stream and tell me what you think. It should be fun. Right, let's blast this on a bit. Now, as well as these food storage things, you've also got storage for like actual like resources, like sticks and stones and stuff like that. So we're going to put some of that in as well. While I'm putting this in, I'll slow it down to triple speed. Well, actually, I want to get through the night because I've got skip night on, but it's not skipping the night. But sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes there you go. Now it's skipping through properly. It still takes a while to skip through. Right, we're through to the dawn. Hooray! But even dawn isn't actually dawn. It will become dawn eventually. And this is on time-lapse speed. Right, there we go. Right, now everybody will wake up and they'll go and do their stuff. Now, they will be a little bit upset this morning. You can see, look, they've got the angry face. And if I mouse over that and say, I can't find proper housing. And some of them will say, I don't like sleeping outside or whatever. Let's click on you. What do you say? I had to sleep in the open. Yeah, they're all upset about having to sleep in the open. So we do want to get houses for them, but it's not as important as sorting some of the other stuff out. And having the fire is the important thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to prioritise getting the fire. So prioritise that, please, because as long as there's a fire, it will lessen the impact. It won't completely remove the impact of sleeping outdoors, but it will help the situation. Okay, right. Let's get on to that storage I was talking about. So storage. What do I want? I want new building. I want a storage area. Now I am going to create. I think how many? I'm going to do like and. I'm trying to decide like how big I want these to be, and I'm kind of thinking Do I want them 2 wide or 1 wide? I was going to do them 1 wide, and I've kind of confused myself now. So, no. Let's get rid of this completely. Yeah, you get out of my way, right? That we'll get rid of. That we'll get rid of. We'll start again. So let's try that again. Let's put in some storage, shall we? Yes, we'll put in. I'm just going to put them in 1 wide. It's fine. So we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4. I think we'll put in like 5. And the things that we're going to store. So I've now got 5 separate storage areas. And you might be saying, well, why didn't you just put 1 big storage area in? Some of you are not going to like this. You can only store 1 thing in a storage area. So in this storage area, I could say store rocks. And then in this one, I could say store twigs. Now you might be saying, well, we'll just click on both of them. You can't. Like, it's one or the other. You can't have multiple things. So we're going to have stone in that one. We'll have sticks in that one. This one will have, I think, probably this fine rocks or fine stone. This one will have fine sticks because we're going to be making those. This one, I'm not going to have a storage area for plant fibers. They can just dump that on the ground. That's fine. Maybe put rope in that one. Just keep that stuff together. Now, you don't have to have storage areas for everything. They will just dump it on the ground. But I think it's kind of nice to have some of them. And now, some of them, you can actually set up production. So, for example, is this the... is this the fine... No, that's the sticks. Like the fine sticks, because they can actually be made, you can actually click on this button and it will automate production of them. So, yeah. This is what I mean about things being overly complicated, because like you can set up the production here, you can set up a task for the craftsman, you can set up a task for the tribe as a whole. I mean, it is good because it gives you a hell of a lot of flexibility about what you're doing. But man, yeah. Okay, right, never mind. Let's keep going. See if we can get some of these things built. And not long after, we have a roaring fire going, and they've started to complete these pits. Now, this is what's good about the game. Well, when it's not raining, let's speed it up and get rid of the rain, which is pretty torrential. And here we go. This is what's good about the game. The game is pretty. There's no getting away from it. I mean, that's a really nice fire going on there. And the people look pretty good. The animations are okay. The general terrain and whatever is good. But yeah, it's just everything else. Okay, so the reason I've put 5 of these in is because, like I said, there are 5 foodstuffs. So we'll store our berries in there. This is for clams. I have to say, I've never found any clams. I'm assuming they must be at the coast. So we'll probably reuse that for something else, but I just wanted to kind of show it to you. The middle, that'll be for hazelnuts. This one will be for mushrooms. And this one is going to be for rose hips. Now, it's kind of interesting that, I don't know, the developers must really like rose hips because they've put in a really big tooltip for rose hips. Lots of information. They can be used in soups and pies and bread and marmalade. They can be eaten raw like a berry, but you have to avoid the hairs on the inside of the fruit. Mushrooms, apparently they're not so keen on mushrooms. Mushrooms, you get 1 word, right? And even that is impressive when you compare it to the description of these. I assume they're berries because there's nothing. There's not even what they're called. Yeah, awesome. Let's crank this up again. Have you got bored of the music yet? Because it's already driving me bloomin' insane. Because it's only like a 5 or 6 second loop. Really? So I'm going to turn that down a touch. Okay. Oh, they've done another one. That's the... Well, no, that was the mushrooms. Oh, it was the rose hips, wasn't it? Yeah, let's assign the rose hips so they can go in there. Right, what have we got then? Well, we're bringing in berries. We're bringing in rose hips. That's good. We are bringing in fish, which is nice. We'll go and have a look at that. And, yeah, dried fish. Have we got the drying rack done yet? No, we haven't. They're still waiting for the drying rack. We're just waiting on 1 rope to be made, which one of our craftsmen will hopefully soon make. Oh, those are the gatherer. Where's the craftsman? Here's the craftsman. Yeah, make some rope, for heaven's sake. They've made some rope because one side of it's been built. I will say the prioritization really doesn't work very well. I prioritized the fire. The fire got built after like 3 of these had got built. So yeah, it doesn't really work. Let me show you some other things in the game. So there is one building that we haven't, or one structure that we haven't, but it's not really a building, which is the baskets. And we can dry our fish and then we can store them in baskets. So we'll put a basket in there. We need reeds to make that. We'll go and get some reeds. And then what else do we want? I want another drying rack, don't I? Yeah, ideally. Let's get another dryer going over here. If we can ever get the first one built, would be nice. I've got that one prioritized. Well, we'll see. We'll see if it happens. What else do we want? Now we want to start getting some houses built. So let's do that. Let's get. What do I want? I want structures. I want. There are 3 types. Now you've got these pelt huts. The problem is we do have enough to build 2 of them, right? But they only house 4 people. So you could use your pelts, your rawhide that you've got. The thing is, you can't replace it. So I'm actually going to build some straw huts. I will just mention the fact that they've chosen a pretty strange mechanic for rotating the buildings. I mean, I suppose it's not that strange. It's just there are much better ways to do it these days that other games have come up with. You rotate it with the R and the T keys. The thing that I find really annoying about it is that if I hold down the R key or the T key, nothing happens. You have to repeatedly press it to get it to rotate. Which, if it happens to be pointed in the opposite direction from the way you want, means a lot of key pressing. So we'll put one in there. We'll put one in there, and we'll put one in, say, there. Okay. Now to get these going, we need straw. So I think this is possibly the last. Well, no, because I haven't built walls. Other than the walls, I think this might be the last. Oh no, there's the one religious building as well. Those are the decorations which don't do anything. So let's see, which is it? The haystack. That's it, the haystack, where we can store hay. Surprisingly enough, let's plop it over here, kind of, sort of out of the way. Now, you can get hay by cropping areas of grass, but I think it's kind of aesthetically a nice thing, rather than cropping the grass, to get an area cleared, so it actually looks like you've got an encampment. So if we go into, which one is it? I think it's services. God knows why it's in services, but we can actually clear an area. So let's clear an area around here like this. And then I'll maybe clear this area as well, down towards the drying racks. So we'll get those areas cleared. Now that will actually produce us a lot of straw that we can use to build our huts. So let's let those get built. And here we are with pretty much in fact everything built. We've got our little straw huts. With each one of these houses 6 people, so we've got room for what, 18 people. But we're on the verge of expanding. Let's see. You're going to be having a baby soon, I think. We've already had one birth, and but poor Aura 51. I think she's going to be she's going to be passing on fairly soon. So yeah, the tribe will grow over time. So how many we've got? We've got 7, 14, 15, 16. So we've got housing for everybody and room for a couple more. We've got all of our storage pits done. I've got a couple for rose hips. That one and that one. The different things are seasonal, so you'll tend to get berries in the spring, and then in the summer you get the rose hips. So I've got a couple for the berries, got a couple for the rose hips, and then as you move into the winter, autumn and winter, you'll tend to get a lot more mushrooms. So probably I'll expand that out and have maybe 2 for each going forward. We've got our 2 drying racks, and you can see we've got fish hanging up, drying. And how are we doing for supplies at the moment? We've got 13 dried fish. We've got 182 rose hips, so we're doing pretty well. We've got our storage set up over here. Everybody's enjoying the fire. They sit around, they have a chat. If you zoom in close, you can hear them talking. Here's one of our craftsmen manufacturing some rope. Now there's only a couple of things really left for us to do at this point. We can get our craftsmen to make us more efficient. So I'm going to turn off manufacturing rope now. Oh look, he's stopped. We'll set up a couple more things. I'd like you to make us some tools, please. Let's make some bifaces, which is a cutting tool. That'll allow us to crop more efficiently, 75% more efficiently, and also let us cut things 100% more efficiently. So we'll get some of those made, and then we'll make I don't know, maybe make probably 10 of those. We'll make some stone axes so that we can cut down trees. So what do we think? Maybe 5. We'll get like 5 axes made. We want to improve our fishing, so we can either use wooden spears. That gives us a 75% boost, or if we take a wooden spear and then add 3 wooden spears and some fine sticks, we can make a wooden trident, which improves our fishing by 200%. So that's definitely something that we want. Now, how many fishermen have we got? Let's have a look. We've got 4 fishermen. So kind of makes sense to make 4 of those really nice tridents. So we'll go into tasks, and so that means I would need 12 of these wooden spears. So let's make 12 of those. 12 of those, and then we'll make 4 wooden tridents. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Hurrah! We can also make things like hazel bows, which are also used for fishing. But they only give 125%, so you're actually better off going for the wooden tridents, although the bows are easier to make. That's it as far as tools are concerned. So that's it. That is it. The only structures that we haven't built are the religious menhir, the temple menhir, which we can plonk that down somewhere, I suppose. Let me see. So we've got the storage. I suppose it should be kind of probably somewhere over here, maybe. I want to chop that tree down because it's in the way, really. I'd have to put this. It's very uneven terrain over here, so I have to find somewhere to put the thing in. And we'd want to rotate it, obviously, to kind of line it up with the village. Unless, of course, we put a row of them like around the village. That would be very cool. So yeah, we could potentially do that if I got this rotated over here. We could put one here, and then just start producing like a ring of them around the village. The thing is, these things take ages to build, and I do mean ages. You need 1,000 stone, and I mean it takes a long time to collect the stone. It takes even longer to build this thing. So yeah, don't expect to see that finished anytime soon. The other thing that we can do is to build walls, defensive fortifications. They are pointless at this point because the game won't actually do anything. There's nothing that can attack us or threaten us in any way. But if you wanted to make things at least look nice, you certainly could. The palisade is particularly pleasing on the eye. But this thing, like each section, takes 12 logs. Now, let me just show you how you put this in. So we could start from, I don't know. So if I started from over here, yeah, I've got to get it going the right way because we want the kind of the supports on the inside. But you just plonk it around like this kind of thing. The only problem is you can avoid the rocks because you can't remove them like this rock. You can't remove that. So, but yeah, you just draw it in like this, and then whenever you're finished and you've drawn as much as you want to draw, then you just double click. I actually would want to leave some gates in this, so maybe I'll just do kind of the top half. So we started from there and just go. Let's go around that rock. But like each section that big is 12 logs. So this takes a huge amount of wood to build. You're going to be chopping down for a long time to complete a palisade, like all the way around. I'm going to leave that there. We'll probably have a gate there and a gate on that side. So all you have to do to complete it is double click, and then they'll start building that, or at least they would if they'd got any trees that they cut down into logs. So yeah, that's it. I'll just go through. Have I forgotten any buildings? Let's see. No, we did the huts. We did the baskets, the pits, the haystacks. We did the dryer. Did the fireplace. Fence. Yeah, we got the palisade going in. We put the men here in, and this stuff is just visual decoration. It serves absolutely no purpose. I mean, if you wanted to, I suppose you could put an oven in. You could flip that round, but of course we press that key 6 million times to get it to do it. Come back this way a little bit. Let's maybe put that in there. Looks sort of pretty, I suppose. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Now I will be doing pretty much the same kind of thing, because that's literally all you can do on the stream. Starts at 8 o'clock. Hopefully I'll see you there. I can't wait to see your comments. Both those of you who agree with me on the ridiculousness of this game, and also the comments from the fanboys, which there will inevitably be. So guys, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and kind of had some fun. Based on current progress, come back in about, I don't know, 3, 4, maybe 5 years. Could be a decent game here. I'll catch you for that. Peace out.